What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having a great day. I know I am. And if you are having a great day, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. Your firstborn daughter is gonna be a weird horse girl. Yeah, that's right. If you don't press the like button, your first button will be cursed to become a weirdo. Anyways, guys, you know the drill. Today's video is definitely a little bit more bizarre than anything else. It's up there with like Melvin the Snake Kid in terms of weirdness. It's not action-packed, alright? I'm not gonna pretend that I fight a dinosaur with a Glock in one hand and a hot blonde in the other, but I will say it's pretty entertaining. So, yeah, it should be entertaining. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. So, I've shared a fair share of babysitter stories. You guys tend to really enjoy them, and it usually ends up with, like, either the babysitter being crazy or something like that. And, in this story, nobody dies, nobody ends up, you know, locking me in a closet to make out with girls like my other babysitters have, but it still has stuck with me to this day. So, growing up in the block, which is not like a dangerous block. I said the block like I was referring to a dangerous gang area. I did not grow up there. I grew up in a pretty safe neighborhood, but on the block of my street, most of the kids knew each other, but there was this one kid up the road that like nobody ever saw. He was super addicted to video games. Basically, it was his heroin and he was Kurt Cobain, and nobody in the neighborhood ever really saw him. I didn't really know how old he was. I didn't know anything about the kid. I just knew that he had been there less time than I had, and nobody really hung out with him. Nobody really talked to his parents either. They were kind of like the recluses of the neighborhood. But one day I'm sitting on the couch and there's a knock on the door, and my dad goes and gets it and is like, oh, they want to talk to you. So I go out there and this dude's parents are out there of a kid I don't know and neighbors I've never talked to before. And they basically say that like they want to start going out again and start having fun because their kid's getting old enough to be watched by somebody else. He's not old enough to stay on his own yet, but he's old enough for them to leave the house. So I'm thinking like, this kid is max, you know, 11 or 12. Like, I feel like 11 or 12-year-olds is right when parents, maybe if they're latching on too tight, won't leave them with a babysitter. But like, it is super weird that for 11, 12 years, these parents have basically never gone on a date because they didn't trust anyone to watch their kid. But for $20 an hour, I'd basically watch paint dry. I'm not afraid of doing anything for $20 an hour. If anybody wanted to pay me $20 an hour now to just, I don't know, watch paint dry or do something worse than that, like watch old reruns of garbage TV shows like Friends. Oh, I know I offended some people with that one. I can feel the hate comments coming. I would basically do it. So sure, you know, this family's a bunch of wackadoodles. They haven't been out of the house in 12 years. Their kid is most likely locked inside in the basement, permanently brain damaged because his parents have never let him experience sunlight. But for $20 an hour, you don't have to tell me twice, you know? So the time comes where I'm supposed to go over there and babysit, and I walk in and the mom's talking to me and she's like, seems really excited to leave. And I'm asking some questions about the kid just because like I've babysat before and I don't know, it's just nice to know like a little bit about the person you're watching. So I ask what grade he's in and she's like, oh, he's a freshman. And I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm babysitting a high schooler while you go on a date? This man's mom got him a babysitter at 14 years old. Imagine being a freshman in high school, dude. I didn't even realize this kid went to my school. That's how much his mom basically had him on lockdown. But imagine getting a babysitter at 14 years old. That is just like one of those things that sticks with you forever in terms of embarrassment. Your own mom doesn't believe that you can warm up macaroni and cheese in the microwave at 14 without lighting something on fire. So I'm kind of like, oh, all right, your son's 14. That's a little bit older than I expected, but whatever, I guess I can hang out with him. And she's like, oh, you are under no circumstances to bother him. He basically just wants to be left alone to play his video games, and that's how we like it. He doesn't even know that you're here. And I'm like, so you want me to basically sit on the couch and you're gonna pay me $20 an hour to not interact with your son? Does he have food? Does he need anything? They're like, nope, we already fed him. He should be good. But basically, you just sit here and make sure that nothing goes wrong and we'll be home in like 4 hours. So they leave and I'm thinking that I've basically got the greatest job ever. That dude is upstairs playing video games. He's not even gonna know that I'm here, and I'm basically gonna get paid like 80, $100 depending on when they get paid or when they get back to sit on the couch and do nothing. It's dope. So I sit on the couch. It's a pretty comfy couch. I start watching TV, and I'm watching TV interrupted into this like weird job situation. Maybe 5 minutes, and that's when it starts. I guess when I had come over, he must have been at like the start of the game or maybe the beginning of the game because he was pretty quiet for like 10 minutes. And then I don't know if somebody hacked him or something or what, or like killed him with some BS, but what happened next was banshee screaming. Like, this dude is screaming at the top of his lungs like somebody has broken into his room. I've gamer rage. Trust me, I've streamed on Twitch at Scrubby OG, and like, people have seen me rage. I can get pretty mad at video games, but this dude, it sounded like he was rearranging his room with me downstairs full speed while just screaming as many obscenities as humanly possible. I was like 16 years old at this point, and I'm pretty sure this dude was teaching me swear words. That's how much was just coming out of his mouth. And I don't mind swearing, I don't care, but it legitimately sounded like he was trapped under a refrigerator and was gonna be slowly crushed to death unless somebody did something. So I start going up the stairs. I know his mom told me to leave him alone, but like, after hearing all this commotion, all this stuff going on, I just wanted to make sure that he was okay. Like, hey, dude, you sound a little upset. Do you need anything? Like, you sound like you're about to throw yourself out of the second-story window. Are you all right? So I go upstairs and I follow the noise, which is not that hard because at this point he's now banging on his desk with what I assume is like a keyboard or a controller. It's something plastic getting banged on the desk. And like, I get outside the door and the smell that's coming out from under the door is not very pleasant. It smells, this is gross to admit that I know what this smells like, but you know, you ever done like an all-night gaming session, multiple nights in a row, like had a LAN party with the boys, and you know, you guys just did nothing but play video games for a day or two, and the room just smells just bad. It smells like BO and stink, and it's just gross. It's just gross. But like that gross stale potato chip BO boy funk, like it's just not a good smell. It's coming out from under his door. And if it can leak out of your room, then your smell is too strong. Like, all right, your room might not be clean. My room's been dirty to that point, like once when the new Call of Duty came out and I marathoned it for a couple days. But my room has never gotten to the point where it can leak out from under the door. This dude's room smells so bad, even the air inside is trying to escape to not be around its brothers. That's how disgusting it is. Anyways, I work up my bravery sniffing in this gamer gunk, and I open the door, and what I see is quite possibly the messiest room I've ever witnessed. I'm not exaggerating when I say there's probably like, in some areas, 3 feet of trash piled up, and it's just loose trash, like empty Big Mac boxes, empty like chicken nugget containers, empty cups of soda, just burger wrappers, like all that gross, disgusting trash is like piled everywhere. There's clothes all over the floor. You can't even see the ground except for like a little trail to the bread and the computer, by probably a foot of stuff. And the smell is way worse in here. You can tell that however long this trash pile has been sitting there is a long time. And as I'm like looking around the room, I finally get over to the kid, and he is standing there shirtless, a behemoth. He is a big dude. I didn't realize how big he was before. I'd only seen him from like a far distance when he was walking in the house from his car. And he doesn't look big, but he was a big dude, and not in a good way. Like, this isn't Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson big. It's like Gabriel Iglesias big. And he's just banging his controller on the desk, and the desk is just covered in like cracks. The desk looks like it's about to fall apart. It's not the first time it's been beaten, but sure enough, he just keeps wailing on the desk. And finally, after about like 3 more hits, he turns and he looks at me and he says, "Get out!" And I just close the door and walked back downstairs. I'm not gonna question the man. You see a large shirtless boy that looks like a Gerber baby slamming on his desk with a controller, and you stay me, you'd want to stay there and make eye contact? I don't think so. So I go downstairs and like am just sitting there for a couple more hours awkwardly, and the kid just doesn't stop raging, and the smell of that kid's disgusting cave is like burnt into my nostrils. It's been 4 years, almost 5 years at this point, and I can still smell the gamer grease that was going off this dude's controller. Dude's hair was so greasy that if you got too near an open flame, it would probably be considered a grease fire and we'd have to call the fire department. Like, I don't think I'll ever forget it. But whatever, I go back down, sitting on the couch, traumatized. So whatever, finally, his kid's parents come home and they're like, "Oh, did anything happen? Like, did you see our son?" And I went, "No, nothing happened. definitely had a great time. If you ever need me again, I've got a lot of schoolwork. I don't know if I'll be busy, but you're always welcome to ask. And they gave me my like $100 and I dip. And I think it's all squared away. I think I'm groovy. I think I've finally escaped. I'll just never answer their calls when they ask me to babysit again. I'll be like, oh, school is just so crazy. I'm gonna be fine. But then the next day, I get a call at like 6 a.m., which is way too early to call a teenager, by the way. If you got like a teenage babysitter, call them at least past noon. But I get this call at 6 a.m. from a number I don't recognize, and I pick it up, and it's like this mom. She's like, yeah, we need you to come over right now. We're going somewhere, and we need a babysitter. And I'm like, wait, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, oh, this is your neighbors up the street. We just need you to come over and sit on the couch for a bit. We'll pay you like $4 an hour, but we're just gonna go get breakfast, and we need someone to sit with our son. And listen, sitting with your greasy, disgusting grease fire son is worth it for $20 an hour. I ain't doing it for $4. That's below minimum wage. I could go clean toilets for more money than I could watch your weird son. But of course, I'm trying to be nice because they did just like toss me the bag last night. So I politely tell this mom no, and you know, I'm expecting her to be like, oh, it's okay, no big deal. But instead of being cool about it, the mom apparently had already been smacking the wine bottle like her son. Cause she just starts going in about how like I'm selfish and they hired me last night so that way they could have a regular babysitter and I'm being ridiculous for not coming over. Yes, I'm ridiculous for calling a 16-year-old at 6 in the morning and begging him to come over to watch my 14-year-old while me and my husband go get breakfast. How about you leave your 14-year-old son alone in his stinky room and just go eat? Like, why do I have to come over? Like, maybe make your kid take a shower and I'll come babysit, all right? Anyways, guys, after that, they never called me again. Whenever I would, like, see them on the street, they would make awkward eye contact or, like, drive by really fast in their car, which I think was them trying to intimidate me. But I've seen your son's Mount Everest of disgusting old McDonald's boxes, so it's pretty hard to be intimidated when I know what your house is looking like on the inside. All I gotta do is wait it out. There's probably, like, the bubonic plague going in that kid's trash pile. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to press the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought. Subscribe and turn on noties if you're new. Today's notification shout out goes to Scrubby is Tall. Thank you for having on the notifications. Happy birthday, Nova. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. And I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.